In 1552, yet another fortress was preparing to give a defiant last stand against the relentless Ottoman Empire as Hungarian castle of Eger came under siege, with the defenders being outnumbered 17-1. For the past 25 years, the Ottomans and Habsburgs had been going blow to blow in a war over Hungary to try and bring it under their control through a vassal ruler, where in 1550 Eastern Hungary, which had been an Ottoman-supported vassal state, joined the Habsburgs in an attempt to reunite Hungary. However, Habsburg King of Hungary Ferdinand I was unable to provide troops and money to support Eastern Hungary in a war against the Ottomans, so in late 1551 George Martinuzzi, the governor of Eastern Hungary who was ruling until 10-year-old John II came of age, began resuming tributes to the Ottoman Sultan. The Ottomans though could no longer trust Martinuzzi as he flip-flopped back and forth between allegiances, so they invaded Hungary, first capturing Chanad, with Martinuzzi being assassinated by Ferdinand's men for siding with the Ottomans and being a traitor. Many of the southern border forts, towns and cities fell to the Ottomans in quick succession before they set their sights towards Eger, a crucial gateway into a Hungarian mining region which offered a massive source of revenue, as well as another point which the Ottomans could stage invasions from against the West. The castle of Eger, where the Hungarians would give their last, utilised the natural defences of the hillside, as well as being built atop previous stone fortifications, making its foundations much more robust, which heavily hampered the Ottomans' attempts to undermine it and sap it during the siege. Because of its location atop a hillside, it couldn't make the most of the old medieval saying that went, if you make ditches, you get bitches. However, there was an even more important old medieval saying that went, if you build up high, you're getting some fi. The defence of the fortress was led by István Dobo, who had a force of just over 2,000 consisting of every able body ready to fight, which included the peasantry and women, and he had around 6 large cannons and a few dozen minor ones, with expert gunmasters hired from Germany to make their use as deadly as possible. In comparison, the Ottomans had around 40,000 troops and just under 200 cannons, and rocked up in early September pretty confident, as their campaign up until this point had been a roaring success, as they offered the defenders a chance to surrender. However, the Hungarians ignored their request and were determined to hold Eger, with surprisingly high morale for the situation they found themselves in, unlike the other fortresses the Ottomans had taken, whose fall was blamed on the over-reliance on foreign mercenaries who abandoned their posts. For 11 days from mid-September, Eger got to enjoy the pleasures of an Ottoman cannon bombardment, where the walls were battered beyond repair, and an all-out assault prepared for the 29th of September, which also happened to be St. Michael's Day, an extremely holy day in the Christian calendar. The Ottomans rushed through the breaches their cannons managed to make, gaining control of the gatehouse. However, Dobo now turned his large cannons onto the gatehouse, bombarding the Ottomans where they stood, causing tremendous casualties as his defending forces desperately tried to beat off the Ottoman assault. The defence also had an ace up their sleeves, Gergely Bornemisser, who was an explosive expert making use of primitive bombs, grenades, and even had a watermill wheel packed with explosives and lit alight, and then rolled through the Ottoman ranks, causing chaos amongst the attackers. The major Ottoman assault was eventually beaten off through the extreme bravery of the defenders, as they chased them back to their trenches, and the victory on St. Michael's Day gave the defenders hope that God was on their side, as over the next 2.5 weeks, the defenders beat off 5 total major assaults. During the siege, the Ottomans ran out of gunpowder at least twice, as well as having huge internal conflicts between the two leaders, Pasha Ali and Pasha Ahmed, about how to conduct the siege. And as the heavy rains and freezing nighttime temperatures approached of October, they had to give up the siege after 39 days of brutal fighting. Against all odds, Dobo's outnumbered force had held off the Ottomans, losing around 500 in the process. However, after the victory, he resigned his position to protest against King Ferdinand's refusal to send any relief force to the siege. Despite their failure to take Eger, the Ottomans had still had a relatively successful campaign into Hungary, where the war between these two would continue for the next 15 years.